Welcome back to another completely useless video. Or, if you're new, welcome to 8 of the most useless minutes of your life. If you haven't already, go check out the first team video, link is in the description. But now that we're halfway done, we can shortlist some more so we can prepare a second 11. Up first are the top order batters. The first name might be quite surprising, given that he only averages 22, but Ramesh Kaluwitharana, along with Jai Surya, revolutionised opening batting in ODIs. Then there's Roshan Mahanama and Marvin Atapattu, Apul Tharanga, Kusal Perera, Kusal Mendes, and a relative newbie, yet he does have a double century, Pathum Nisanka. For middle order batters, I wasn't sure whether to mention Lahiru Tiramane here or top order. He spent more or less equal time everywhere from opener to 6. Up next is Hashan Tilakaratne and Russell Arnold. Then we also have Dinesh Chandimal and Charit Asalanka. We've already done fast bowlers, so let's just do the spinners. Sri Lanka have had some good ones, but I think the only two worth mentioning are Wanindu Hasaranga and Ajantha Mendis. I don't think anyone comes close to these two, but I think the comments might get mad at me if I don't mention Rangana Herath, so I'll throw him in there. But if we mention Herath, I think I also need to throw in Upal Chandana. First, let's work out our batting order. There's a few guys that I want to axe straight away for being way too slow. Lahiru Tiramane, Hashan Tilakaratne, Dinesh Chandimal, and Roshan Mahanama. These guys just batted way too slowly, and their averages aren't good enough to make up for it. One other player in this category is Marvin Atapattu. He was also quite a slow scorer, but at least quicker than the others, and I think he was overall a good enough batter to make up for the slow scoring. That's really cut down quite a bit. So, we only have 8 names here to fill up 6 spots. On the other end of the scoring spectrum is Kalu. If our options for middle order were Sangakkara, Jayawardena and Aravinda, then it might make sense to go for Kalu up top. But I think it's fair to say that we're not working with players of their calibre now. We need more reliable openers, rather than a pinch hitter. Kalu as an opener just hurts this team more than he can help it. So now we're suddenly down to 7 players. First name I'm putting in is Kusal Mendes. Both him and Kusal Perera are wicketkeepers, but I think Mendes is the better batter, so I'm putting him in. I think we've got to put him in at 4, then put Arnold at 5 and Asalanka at 6. Yep, we are really short on middle order batters. But I'm not too unhappy with that. I think they're definitely better than anyone we cut. So, now it comes down to how do we arrange our top 3. Nisanka, Kusal Perera, Taranga and Atapattu. I don't think it's an easy decision, but I'm cutting Kusal Perera. You might have noticed that we're really struggling for a reliable number 7 with our options, and so would rather have consistent batters, which is why I'm leaving Pereira out. Atapattu at 3, the other 2 opening, so they all play in their most frequent position. We can't move everyone down and play Pereira 2, as none of these guys can really bowl, so we'd be really struggling to get 50 overs in. Now, onto that number 7 slot. We have 2 options here, Thisara Perera or Wanindu Hasaranga. Neither are exceptional number 7s, but they can bat there if need be. It's also nice that these 2 are high strike rate batters, which is sort of what we're lacking in the rest of the team. I know Kusal Perera had a good strike rate, but when you have these guys as your option for 7, you want a reliable top order. I'm very inclined to bat these 2 at 7 and 8, but we'll come back to it once we've sorted out our bowling. We have no seamer in our top 6, so we absolutely need to pick at least 3 out of Thisara Perera, Kulasekara, Lakmal and Dilhara Fernando. I'm going to be honest here, all of them are decent, but none of them are particularly great. I think Thisara Perera is a definite pick. His batting definitely takes him over the edge. Between the other 4, it comes down to preference, really. There are no left armers, so I think I'll take Dilhara and Kulasekara. I know I usually like to take 4 seamers if possible, but I don't think any of these guys are anywhere near as good as Ajantha Mendis or Wanindu, so I think this time I'm going to go with only 3 seamers and with 2 spinners. No disrespect to any of these players, but this is definitely the weakest team we've covered so far. But for a relatively newer cricketing nation and a small country in general, they've not done too badly. So to sum up, the second team, we've got Nisanka, who I think looks like a very talented young player. Taranga and Atapatu can hopefully score at a decent rate, but more importantly, just stay in. Mendes and Arnold can hopefully kick on a touch if they come in, without throwing away their wickets. Then Asalanga, Hasaranga, and Pereira to hopefully score a lot at the death. Bowling doesn't look great, only 3 seamers, none of whom are particularly amazing, but the 2 spinners are very potent. Add Asalanka and Arnold's bowling, and they're still at least a decent team. As you can probably tell, the hardest part of this video was saying the names. If these 2 teams were to play against each other, here's what the announcers would need to say. Deshibandhu Sanath Taran Jaisurya, Tilakaratne Mudayan Salage Dilshan, Kumar Chok Shanda Sangakara, Deshibandhu Pinaduage Aravinda de Silva, Denagamage Prabot Mahela de Silva Jayawardena, Deshamanya Arjuna Ranatunga, Angelo Davis Matthews. Wow, that was easy to say. Why didn't his parents give him 4 middle names? Muhammad Farviz Mahroof, Deshbandhu Warnakala Surya Patibendige Ushanta Joseph Chamindavas, Siparamadu Lasith Malinga, Deshbandhu Muthaya Murlitharan. And the second team would be Patum Nisanka Silva, Warushavitana Upaltaranga, Deshbandhu Marvan Samson Atapatu, Balapuaduge Kusal Gimhan Mendes, Russell Premakumaran Arnold, Karyawasam Indipalage Charit Asalanka, Pinaduage Wanindu Hasaranga de Silva, Narangoda Lianarachige Tesara Charanta Pereira, Kulasekara Mudianasalage Dinash Nawan Kulasekara, Kongenige Rundi Dilhara Fernando, Balapuaduge Ajanta Winslow Mendes. I've definitely butchered probably all of those names. Try saying that 20 times fast. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, or if you didn't, hopefully you at least managed to kill a few minutes and think about cricket for a bit. Feel free to leave any thoughts or your own 11s in the comments, and you can subscribe if you never want to miss a useless video. Bye all!